All right. So thank you for joining us today to this webinar of the cycle BioInternational Insights. This is a series of webinars that aim to introduce the life sciences and biotechnology ecosystem of our guest bioregions. And today we will have the chance to know more about the biotechnology ecosystem of India, one of the strongest ecosystems in the world. For this, we are pleased to count with the presence of Arun Kumar, a business development expert and partner of Axperia Ventures, which is an expert in India and in the Middle East, and with Armando Piegue Freire, which is the CEO of Axperia Ventures, which is a strategic management consultancy specializing in innovation, investment, and internationalization in emerging renewable, sustainable, and other technologies in the life sciences sector. So with no further delay, I will now leave the floor to Armando and Arun. Armando and Arun, thank you very much for joining us today. And please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for the introduction, and good morning. Arun, my partner, and as Daniel was saying, CEO of Axperia Ventures LLP in Delhi. And I would like to start by thanking all the participants for being here today, and of course to Bioga for organizing these workshops and inviting us to be part of it. Events like this, in our view, are essential to foster collaboration and advancing the biotech sector in markets like India, that they are not very well known yet in Spain and in Galicia. And it's an honor for us to share this space with all of you and the experience we have mustered since 2015 in this area. So before I leave the floor to my partner and friend Arun, I would like to make a very short introduction about why India has reached the level in biotechnology that they have today since 1986. So India investment in biotechnology received a decisive boost in 1986 with the creation of the Department of Biotechnology, what is known as the DBT, which has played a crucial role in the development of this sector in India. In its early years, specifically between 1989 and 1999, the DBT began funding biotechnology research projects in various scientific institutions, focusing specifically in key areas like agriculture, health, and environment. During the 90s, the research institutions such as the National Institute of Immunology, the NII, and the Center of DNA were established and strengthened the country's scientific infrastructure. At this stage, the policies were also adopted to encourage private industry participation, although at that time the sector was still modest. Starting in the year 2000, India experienced significant expansion in its biotechnology sector, supported by the increase of foreign investment and continued backing up from the government of India. And during that first decade of the 21st century, leading companies as Biocom, Serum, Panacea, Biotech, Akums, well, to just name a few, they were solidifying the presence not only in the national but in the international market. In 2001, the National Biotechnology Policy was established, promoting the commercialization of biotechnology products, the development and the human capital and the collaboration in research with international partners. And during this period, bioinformatics, biopharmaceuticals gained a very important presence in the sector in India. The period 2010-2020 saw India consolidation as a global leader in biotechnology sector with an incredible growth rates that they are near in average to 20% per year, which is absolutely outstanding. And DBT and other institutions like BIRAC institutions that we know, we have been in touch with. They have played a critical role promoting incubation, accelerators, and of course, helping attract foreign direct investment and more investment from the government to make this a reality. So the situation of India today is that it has been proven to be a key player in the global biotech sector with a solid infrastructure and a clear innovation strategy. The country is very well positioned to lead in areas such bioinformatics or back science production, and India is already an indispensable force in a global biotechnology market, and its role will only continue to grow, making it an undeniable leader in this field. This is our belief. So thank you again for taking part of this workshop, and the floor is yours, Arun.
Yeah, thank you, Armando, and thank you, Daniel, for organizing and inviting us to this workshop, which is an interesting one given the context that Armando has already set in, wherein India is going to be an emerging player, major emerging player in biotech sector. And I will give an overview about the Indian biotech market and also about Indian pharma market and various opportunities which are there, which segments are growing, so that you get a perspective of what is happening in the biotech field in India. And then open the debate. We can debate and discuss opportunities which could be of interest to you, and how we can build collaboration between India and Spain pertaining to biotech sector. So this is giving advantage about why India, and overview of Indian Indian economy, wherein India is already a $3.4 trillion economy and growing at 7% per annum, and it is going to be it's a major economy in the world in terms of growth, and the
The cookies are always interfering in every aspect of life.
Yeah, we are back. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Arun, if you could please put the slideshow mode, I think it would be better.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So India is basically the growth is driven by a large population base of 1.3 billion, and mainly comprising of young, middle-aged Indians, which is about 29-30 years. And that is where the growth is coming, because these are educated and they are driven by technology, and they have got access to internet, and these are qualified engineers, and they are various fields where Indians have done pretty well in engineering, in biotech, and also in pharma. And with that, the main sectors which are driving this growth are mainly five. So agriculture has been traditional, area where India is doing pretty well in terms of share in the economy and growth in the economy. And the automobile sector, where India is also, third largest automobile market, and they are producing a lot of ICE engines, which is internal combustion engines. And now the transition is happening from the gasoline to electric vehicles and also to hybrid. So technology is another area which is doing pretty well, because of about 70 to 80% of the population, it has got access to internet. And with that, the usage of internet and e-commerce is growing as a large, market. And roughly about $130 billion e-commerce industry is there, which is projected to grow about $300 billion in the coming years. And financial services also, India has done pretty well and shown impressive growth, wherein insurance sector as well as also in the financial technology sector and the digitalization of financial services. These are the areas where growth is happening. And coming to pharmaceutical sector, India is already producing a large number of medicines, and it is among the top five, exporters of medicines in the world. In fact, third in ranking by volume. And this is mainly coming from the competitive base which India has on the manufacturing side. And pharma is about a 65 billion dollar market as of 2024, and it is projected to grow to $450 billion. And when you look at the market share, India is doing, it's having a large market share in active pharmaceutical ingredients, API. And there are about 500 APIs which are being manufactured in India. And in terms of pre-qualified list of API producers, there are about 57% is the share in World Health Organization, pre-qualified list where APIs are qualified from Indian suppliers. The other market, which is pretty impressive, is the contract manufacturing and clinical research, because India is having a large population base, and on that large population base, you are getting, different diverse pool wherein clinical research for drug development and discovery is something which is interesting for international companies as well as for domestic companies. And the work which is being done by contract research organizations, CRO, is pretty good when it comes to data management, when it comes to providing services on a competitive basis to various international players. And a lot of developments and drug testing is happening in India. Similarly, the other sector which is picking up is biosimilars. So a lot of development work and innovation is happening in biosimilars, and development of biosimilar is becoming a good market for companies in India as well as also for international companies, especially in generics, which is another area where India is doing pretty well because of the requirement of population of majority of the population which is having low income or middle income, and they want to access uh, healthcare facilities, and generic drugs are something which are very interesting to India. So in terms of strategy, India is following three-pronged strategy. One is that they want to maintain competitiveness and cost leadership in manufacturing and providing services. The second one is strengthening innovation and R&D by having international collaboration. So a lot of companies, they are having collaboration with Indian companies to do research and development or manufacturing, providing manufacturing services, distribution services, in licensing is happening, out licensing is happening. So these are the areas where this is another important axis in terms of strengthening R&D and development. And the third axis where the focus is to promote biotechnology and bioeconomy because of the environmental issues, because of sustainability issues. And this is the area of interest for today's discussion. And I now come to my next slide about the a brief about what is happening in biotech sector. So India is already an attractive destination for biotech sector, wherein there is a large number of biotech startups which are there. So around 6,500 startups are existing in different parts of India, which are doing innovation work. And this is promoted by the government policies, wherein there are certain 75 bio incubators are there, wherein the research coming from universities is getting incubated. And then there are various biotech parks which are providing facilities for young entrepreneurs which are willing to carry forward their research and develop commercially. So they provide facilities for going for commercialization and support from the government, policy support as well as funding support from the government in order to promote their ideas. Foreign companies are also coming in, and they are setting up their R&D centers and global capability centers. GCCs are also being set up so that they can utilize the talent which is available in India in order to carry out R&D, and those R&Ds can then be capitalized because of by virtue of large market India is offering. When I mentioned about $1.3 billion, and then the export capability because of the manufacturing base which India has. You might be interested to know that India is having second highest number of US FDA approved manufacturing plants, and this is providing support and exporting to 200 countries different kinds of medicines which is happening from India. And the bioeconomy is another area where focus is happening, and a lot of work is being done in order to integrate biotech in various sectors like bioindustrial, biopharma. And I will now go to my next slide where we talk about the how the different market segments which are there in biotechnology, and what constitutes bioeconomy in India. So biopharma is one particular market segment where you have biosimilars, you have vaccines, insulin, regenerative medicines, and medical devices. And then you have bioindustrial, where, as I mentioned, that biofuel, industrial enzymes, biopolymers are there. And then you have the bioservices, contract manufacturing services, contract research, clinical research. These are the services being provided. And then bio information technology, bio IT, wherein work is being done by utilizing the power of computers, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and provide precision medicines and also specialized treatments by using technology. And in agriculture also, there is usage of biofertilizers, biopesticides, hybrid seeds, so that a lot of bio ingredients can be promoted, so that you are polluting less on the soil side and also water as well as environment, and that is where the premium is coming when it comes to organic foods being produced in India and consumed in India as well as export to other countries. So when it comes to the growth, you will see that, as Armando was mentioning, that we had, this start of biotechnology sector through the establishment of Department of Biotechnology in 1980s. And then in 23, it has reached to $137 billion market. And it is projected that in next, 4 or 5 years, it is going to be $300 billion market. Last year, when you look at the growth rate of this particular market segment, it was about 29%, and it is going to grow significantly in the coming years in order to maintain and grow to the level of $300 billion or more because of the government push, policy support, as well as funding coming into the sector in India, and a lot of multiple players showing interest to come to India and try and test their technology and commercialize it. So as I mentioned that, the market segmentation in terms of share, bioindustrial is a major share because of the fuel, biofuel. And as you might know that India has set a target that by 2025, 20% ethanol is going to be used in gasoline. So with that, and there was initially a target of 2030, but it has been accelerated to 2025, and we are already about 14% share of gasoline being used, where we have a mix of ethanol and gasoline, so that it is less taxing on the economy, because India is importing crude oil, and also helpful for the environment, and suppress the particulate matter when it comes to ethanol production. Besides that, the other industrial processes where bioenzymes in textile, cotton being produced, so that this is another area which is of interest. Biopharma is another share which is about 49-50 billion dollar, and these two comprise about 80%, 85% share in bioeconomy. And the states which are promoting this is southern states in India, and western states, as well as Delhi area, because of the proximity to the government, and the Department of Biotechnology headquarters is also in New Delhi. These are the composition and different constituents of various bioeconomy in India, comprising of $137 billion. And I won't go into the details, but you can see that diagnostics is one area, therapeutics is another area, vaccines is another area, potable and industrial alcohol, biofuel, as I mentioned. So these are the main areas where work is going on, and there is a requirement need for technology to come and get into the commercialization phase. Besides that, another interesting area is bio-IT research services, where the contract research organizations are working and providing support to various international players in order to push and accelerate their R&D, and do some kind of pilot testing, provide certain small sample results, so that they can validate their product or services, and then try to commercialize it in a manner that it can be done expeditiously. And innovation is supported by a strong startup ecosystem, which has been developed over past 10 years in India. And if you look at from 2015, there were only 732 startups. And today we have got about 7,500 plus startups in India, which are operating and doing work in the area of basically health and social work, and also providing manufacturing services and products, business services, and trading and manufacturing of different items, machinery and equipment, R&D. So all these are the areas where startups are working. And you will see that in the map of India on the right-hand side, this is the different startup clusters which are there in different parts of India. And you'll see that in Maharashtra, for instance, 1062 number of startups are operating, and they are operating out of bio incubators or biotech parks. In Delhi, for instance, 712 startups are there, and these are the different startups which are working and doing innovation work, building bridges between R&D and industry, so that they are able to get access to some kind of industrial validation in a fast track manner when it comes to locating their startups near to pharmaceutical parks which are there in different parts of India. So these are some of the deals which have happened in biotech sector in India. As you will see that with a modest beginning of in 2013, it was about $175 billion, but it is reaching to about $1 billion in 2022 and post to that as well. And with this large number of late stage startups, they are able to get traction in terms of growth capital, and mainly when you look at the kind of deals which are happening, you will see that 53% of the transactions which have happened, they are in diagnostics, which is again a good emerging market segment. Medical devices, which is again another area where a lot of work is happening on the innovation side. And these two are the areas where money is flowing. And on the right hand side, you will see a table where different deals which have happened in biotech sector, mainly comprising of Series B and Series C, and except one, which is a private equity, Marine Life Sciences, which is a Goa-based company, and they are doing work on diagnostic side. And Mall Biodiagnostics is another company which got $85 million. And these are the companies, in Series B, they are able to get about 30 to $40 million. And Series A, about $5 to $10 million they are able to raise when it comes to, companies having good product and trying to commercialize it in a business model which can be scaled up and sustainable. So this innovation ecosystem is supported by Department of Biotechnology, and under which they have formed a Section 8 company, which is a non-profit company called BIRAC. And BIRAC is Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. So they have got an office, head office in New Delhi, and we had an opportunity to meet them with the delegates which came from Spain, some companies, which came in 2022. So we had organized a meeting with Virac in order to explore and give a, kind of different schemes which are being available for startups to validate their product or commercialize in India. And they are providing seed funding, they are providing grants, they are providing equity as well, equity support also, in order to cover certain risk for companies which are doing promising work in the area of biotech. And I won't go through the numbers, but these are the different numbers which I mentioned that they are supporting. And what they are doing is that they are supporting innovation. They are facilitating startups in order to get support in terms of business support as well as financial support, and enabling them to roll out their product in market in a pilot manner, and get into a kind of commercial arrangement so that they can stand up on their own and do their business. That is the idea of Virac, and yeah, this is supported by a strong commitment from the government in terms of budgetary support, in terms of policy support, and also providing guidance from various mentors and those scientists and facilities which are required for carrying out certain activities by startup companies where they lack financial capital. And this is a summary of key biotech players in India, but there are many others which are not named in this. Basically, these are the companies which have established themselves. Some of them are unicorn companies. Like for instance, Biocon is a unicorn company now. They have a subsidiary called Biocon Biologics, which is doing biogenerics and biologics, vaccines and medicines manufacturing. Serum Institute of India, which is a company which has developed COVID vaccine. So and Covishield, and this company is the largest vaccine manufacturer in the world. They are producing a lot of vaccines. Panacea Biotech is doing a lot of work in terms of providing export to WHO and various medicines which are under the pre-qualified list of WHO, and doing work in biotechnology. And this is a public listed company. Dr. Reddy is another company which is public listed, one of the largest integrated pharmaceutical company in India. And there are many others which I won't read, but you will see that Bharat Biotech is a company which developed the COVID vaccine in India. and this was the R&D was also done in India, and now they are providing exporting to various other countries as well. Now, this is about a few success stories, but I have already covered. Biocon is a company which has got 8 manufacturing units, and they have got they are 14 out of top 20 pharma companies in terms of service portfolio, exporting to 120 countries. They have got 1,700 patents and revenue of about $1.9 billion. Another company which they have subsidiaries, Biocon Biologics, which is another subsidiary company, got unicorn status last year. Panacea Biotech, we spoke about it, and they are also doing export to various countries, 89 countries, in fact. And among them are US, Canada, Germany, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Brazil, and many more countries. And areas where they are working is drug discovery and development, new chemical entity, vaccine research, and doing work in nanotechnology, doing therapeutic areas like nutrition, immunization, nephrology, transplant, oncology, rheumatology, ENT, pain, diabetes, and gastroenterology, because these are the diseases which are more prevalent in India as well as to the countries where they are exporting those medicines. Jubilant Life Sciences, another company which is now Jubilant Pharmova, and it is an integrated company also doing CRO services and providing manufacturing services to various companies, and they are helping. And this is a large company in terms of revenue, $783 million revenue, and it's a good company in terms of different R&D work and also doing development and manufacturing, providing services. This is the summary of organization structure for biotech industry and key stakeholders. I would like to mention, as Armando already mentioned, about the Department of Science and Technology, which is the Department of Biotechnology. You have the Central Drug Research, CDRO, which is the Central Drug Standard and Control Organization. This is the organization which is based in Lucknow and in northern part of India. They are providing support in terms of drug development, testing, and also doing R&D work for companies which are interested in carrying out R&D through that. And a lot of Indian companies are using services from CDRI for providing research services. And I already mentioned about BIRAC, Department of Science and Technology and Department of Biotechnology. They are having collaboration with some, they are running certain programs with various countries, including Spain, wherein they are promoting research and development with the aim to commercialize by funding projects which are joint collaborative projects, joint research between different countries like Spain and India. There are programs between Department of Science and Technology and also CDTI. Similarly, Department of Biotechnology has a program with CDTI to promote R&D, joint R&D, and fund it. But those are complex arrangements, complex schemes, and they take time to materialize and not applicable to very small startup companies. So this is a kind of summary wherein why should we consider India as a market for internationalization, and I would just read some bullet points where we are talking about India has got a large reservoir of scientists and engineers because of the large population, and this is one asset, I would say, because this is available. And the cost-effective manufacturing capabilities. India is kind of manufacturing hub for international companies, and as some European companies, they are also looking to have China plus one kind of strategy, wherein they want to have additional supply chain, possibilities. And India is a good destination in terms of already having a good base, manufacturing base, and providing already, medicines and US FDA manufacturing sites which are there. And those are exporting to various countries, including US and Europe. Exciting biotech environment because of we mentioned about the bioeconomy promotion and the government support, startups which are available, bio incubators, infrastructure support being provided by the government, and funding schemes, uh, biotechnology parks I mentioned already. Then we have got a very vibrant, well-defined drug and pharmaceutical industry, because India has been providing services in terms of clinical, research and development to various companies in the past. So, and recently there has been a policy formulation which gives more transparency, more time-bound approvals for various, processes which are being used in order to commercialize a drug or a vaccine, uh, and roll it on the market. And this is another, reform which has happened or is happening in order to promote an international and open up industry for foreign collaborations. I already mentioned about the US FDA, which are already, there, and manufacturing plants are there outside of US, and has got very large share in terms of providing exporting to US various pharmaceutical, drugs and vaccines. Biodiversity is another, area which is a plus in terms of large gene pool, which has India has got. India is itself a continent where you find different set of genes in northern part of India, and on southern part of India you have got different set of genes, and in on the western side, on the eastern side. So that makes it a very diverse pool when it comes to testing a new drug, a new molecule on human beings in a wide diversified spectrum, and see that the efficacy of the drug is good, and it is good in terms of providing the treatment. Clinical research and contract research, I already mentioned that it is an attractive destination for various international companies, and also, they are providing services in a manner that it is ethical, it is time bound, as well as it is competitive, and providing, international collaborations. A lot of companies, international companies, they have set up global capability centers, GCCs, and these where they are using, talent pool which is available in India to carry out research globally, and then take that research out and commercialize it by doing in licensing, or collaboration, joint ventures with Indian companies, because Indian market requires a lot of distribution and a kind of retail chain network, so that this can be they can address different parts of India, which is very large. This is a summary about how we can access, biotech market, and different, collaboration, corporations which are possible. And we have mentioned few, but there are many, and we can go into the details of each and every one. But I would just mention that uh, starting with conducting R&D and commercial validation in India, this is one area where we can have, kind of collaboration between academia and from India and Spain, or different, clusters, biotech cluster, for instance, Bioga. We can have a kind of joint cooperation between, and see that what is happening, what kind of experiences are there, and learn from each other. Uh, R&D, joint sharing of R&D budget, another area which can be interesting for international collaboration. Then some quality standards, which are being followed in the West, that could be of interest to Indian companies. Some Indian companies are not large companies; they are small companies, medium companies. They would like to go international, where they may have a requirement to see that their quality assurance and their adherence is meeting the international standards so that they are able to export their products to international market, especially Europe and US. R&D facilities, research and state-of-art research facilities and transnational centers, because there are regional clusters in India which are promoting biotech, and we can emphasize those country-specific transnational research centers, wherein research can be conducted jointly by different nationalities, and that can be collaborative, that can be exclusive, and then the benefit of that can be shared, or it can be we can have a commercial arrangement in order to see that it is mutually beneficial. Then the linkages between research and commercialization is something which is very important, because a lot of research is being happening in India as well as in Spain, but commercialization of that is not happening because there is a disconnect between the industry and research, and that is where these vicinity to the industrial and the market gives a lot of good perspective in terms of how to monetize R&D expenditure in a commercial manner by doing first of all good product validation, and post that a good business model, and then the delivery of that usage of that business model to get revenue and provide value added services or products to the Indian market or exports. That is where an important part in terms of building collaboration between industry and startups. And academic partnership is another area where in the past we have done some collaborations with Indian Institute of Technology, for instance, Delhi, and did some work which was required to be done by one Indian Spanish company and they were interested in carrying out some research work. So that work also has been facilitated, and we have been able to get some kind of um, partnership between company and academia. And there are additional considerations like SDG goals are there, cultural exchange, because we are talking about two different cultures, two different uh, uh, different countries, and that is another interesting area in terms of how to expand and enrich cultural awareness, so that both sides they appreciate and understand each other better. Digital platforms, India is very good in terms of providing digital services, and they are doing a lot of digital work for the world in terms, and they have been kind of providing digital support and AI services, IoT services to various industries from abroad, and they can be utilized in order to leverage R&D activities, and then a lot of data is available with Indian companies because of the large industrial base or large number of clients which they have, and that can be utilized by companies which are having lacking data, or not able to validate what they are doing. That can be very easily done by using the digital platforms which are available to various companies, either as a service or on outright purchase. So I come to my, I think, if there are any questions or collaborations, ideas which we can discuss, we will be happy to discuss with you. Last but not the least, just to showcase some photos which we have of in the past, where companies from Spain they had visited. You can see Armando in one picture, first one, where you will see that this is a company called Legumes, and we had a meeting with them, and we are doing some work with them in terms of, and this is a large company, publicly listed. another distributor meeting which we had, in the past, and a meeting with the IIT Delhi, some professors there, and another meeting with an industrial partner, which we had identified to do prospecting. So this is just a glimpse, but we can deep dive into it when we have in another session. So I'm done for now. In case there are questions, clarifications, I will be happy to respond. Over
Thank
to
you very
you,
much.
Daniel and Armando.
Yes, thank you very much, Arun. Well, you have showed that there's plenty of space for collaboration and stack expansion in a in a country with a very strong growth, excellent location for clinical trials, strong trends in diagnostics and medical devices, APIs development, biomaterials, biofuels, etc., etc. So it's an opportunity that, in any case, we should take into consideration. So thank you very much, Arun. And now we are going to open a little slot for questions. So please feel free to jump in or directly write it on the chat. Feel free to reach out to Arun or Armando.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi.
I have no question about the presentation and your capacities or capabilities, but maybe I have to contact with you in the next weeks because we are right now generating two different startups spin-off in our case. I'm the innovation responsible of the La Coruña hospital. And maybe we have to contact with you because we are looking for some funding to create these companies. And maybe I have to talk with the CEOs of these startups, and maybe we contact with you in the next few weeks.
Thank you. I think will be interesting. We can discuss and see that how we can support you.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation and for all the work that you are doing.
Thank you. I think I'm trying to promote India as well as Galicia. And we have been doing this together with Armando for past few years.
So only another little question, because I'm looking in the web page for Xperia Ventures, and you have a site contact on Vigo. It's possible.
Yes.
Yeah, we have.
Yes,
Armando is in Vigo, my partner.
Yeah, because here in the web page, the contact info is Calle Colón, Xperia Venture. That's right? Or
yes.
Right,
Yeah. Yes.
right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
We
you
are.
will see
We
that,
are.
Go ahead, Armando.
No, absolutely. I mean, we are. We have a company here in Spain, which has offices in Vigo, and we have Xperia Ventures LLP, that is a legal entity that was created in New Delhi, I think 4 or 5 years ago. So we are branches of the same company, and we do the same with other countries as well.
Okay, because sometimes I think that it's important to have a personal meeting, and maybe we have to move to Vigo to have.
I mean, we can have the meeting
via teleconference, obviously.
I mean, we can meet here and we can have a Zoom call with Arun with a lot of pleasure. We have done that in the past, and this is the way we work, so no problem at all. With a lot of pleasure.
Okay. Thank you. Really, thank you.
Our pleasure. Thanks to you for being part of that. If I may, Daniel, just very briefly, just to understand a little bit the possibilities of cooperation. I mean, there's a cooperation agreement between Spain and India that was signed in 2005. So this has been signed by the government of Spain and the government of India, and the idea is to cover different areas, including science, technology, economy, trade, culture, education. So the founding of the possibilities of what can be done between Spain, Galicia, and India, they are already there. It is true that not a lot has been done so far. We are, for instance, experienced members of the Indo-Spanish Chamber of Commerce. There are a lot of Spanish companies in India already. There are banks, there are Prosegur is there, but there's a lot of room for improvement. There are other nations, France, Germany, that they are more present than us in the Indian context there, unfortunately, for us. So, to sum up very quickly, and we said all that. So based on that, we are facing an expanding market with an incredible rapid growth, with very sector specifics, and specifically the one that touch the biotech. There are government incentives and initiatives in both sides, because as Arun was saying, CEDETI, we are in touch with CEDETI here in Spain and in India. They are in the embassy, and we have been in the past trying to promote their scheme, the funding scheme with the Spanish companies and Indian companies. It's a little bit complicated, but the scheme is there. Okay. So, I mean, this is another interesting issue. The cost efficiency of India, it's another thing that we need to explore. The strong expertise in technology and innovation. I mean, the people that Arun and I are facing in the biotech sector, when you meet with the owners, when you meet with the scientific director, they are all very well trained, very well educated, and it's impressive on that. As I was saying, the favorable trade agreements and business environment. Okay, there are a lot of institutions like the Indo-Spanish Chamber of Commerce, like companies that they are, institutions that they are promoting the possibility of getting funds from venture capital there. And this is something that we need to take advantage, as well as the fact that compare, for instance, to in China, in which you have some difficulties to exchange. In the case of India, we have the advantage that we can communicate in English. So yes, that was all on my side.
Thank you, Armando. Thank you, Alex, for your question. So if there are no further questions, please remind that this has been recorded. We're going to send you the link in case you want to revisit it. And any further question, please feel free to reach Armando or Arun or us. We can also channel your inquiries. And thank you very much again, Arun and Armando, for joining us today, for your time. And thank you all for being with us, and see you in November in our next webinar. Will be about Switzerland. Okay, so take care, have a great day.
Thank you.
And see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye bye.